Oh look, a new Japanese premium ship. Since this is a Japanese premium, this is most likely a very terrible ship. Alright, hello good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and as you have just witnessed, I have purchased the brand new Tier 5 Premium Japanese Heavy Cruiser Yahagi. Or Yahagi, whatever it is. Here she is. I know nothing about this ship, I just heard that she came out today. And since it's only a Tier 5 Premium and not really that expensive, I went ahead and jumped on it. Let's go ahead and take a look at her stats right now. This is literally right after I have purchased her. Actually, she got 25,000 hit points. Let's compare that to the let's look at the tech line Tier 5. So this would be the Furitaka. Is this just the Furitaka reskin? No. Okay, look. Yeah, okay, no, it's different. Okay, so the Furitaka 28,000. Oh wow, this is the A-hole Furitaka. So C-hole Furitaka is 30,000, so 2,000 less hit points than the Furitaka. And is the Furitaka 200 million? No, those are some big guns. So it is a heavy cruiser. Again, me showing my knowledge of Japanese cruisers. So let's see what gun she has. So the Furitaka has 200. These are 150. Oh, it's a light cruiser. My bad. Of course, it's a light cruiser. A light cruiser with a 9-second reload time. Huh. Interesting. Or I guess for Tier 5 that is... So she's got 2x4 610mm torpedoes. Where are they at? Oh, okay, I see. Also, I'm assuming she has one there and then one... Yeah, one right there. And then, oh, they're in a pretty good place if they can shoot outside, either side of the ship. That's pretty good, but I don't... Especially with this one being tucked away right there, it doesn't look like her arcs are going to be all that fantastic. Okay. So range of 12 knots, 12 kilometers, and a speed of 60 knots. Pretty good for Tier 5 light cruiser. AA, who cares? Maneuverability, maximum speed 35 knots. That's pretty hot for Tier 5. That's like French territory. Base rudder shift time of 5.1 seconds. Concealment 11 kilometers. Alright. Let's have a look at her armor. Okay, 13mm. 13. 60 there. Where's her citadel? Probably high and dry. Yup. Okay. Does it get a hill? That's what I want to see. Nope, no hill. But she does get, it's like hydro fighter, no spotter though, and engine boost. Okay, so this is meant to be a very fast ship. Okay, let's go ahead and fit her out. So since this is a light cruiser, yeah, let's go with the main armaments because I'm sure these guns are going to be knocked out left, right, and center if I don't. You know what? Let's go with propulsion. And then, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to increase the reload, so let's go with aiming systems. Alright, and let's go with I want preventive maintenance. Yeah, let's go with preventive maintenance because it's a light cruiser and I don't want to have stuff being knocked out too quick. Adrenaline rush as always. I want superintendent for another speed boost, or should I get? It's only Tier 5. Oh. What do I want? I don't know. Torpedo tube reload time. I could get that. Let's go superintendent right now. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna try and use the maneuverability to her advantage. And let me see. I'm sure her guns have decent pins already. But 24mm, Tier 5, you can see Tier 7. And they have a 13% chance of causing a fire. That's pretty good. So do I want IFH here or not? Or do I want to go with concealment? because she can see tier 7 battleships. But she has 24 millimeters of pen. Let's go with IFHE, just so I can get past the 25 millimeter threshold in tier 7 battleships. Alright, so now she has 32 millimeters of pen. Oh, that's hilarious. And a 10% chance of starting fires. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and flag her up, and I'll see you guys in battle then. Hey guys, voiceover Mountbatten here, which you know what this means, because I had to do this for the Yudachi review too. This ship sucks. There's no easy way to say it. It just does. So, the Yahagi, what it seems like they were going for was a stealthy torpedo boat. There's one main issue with this, is that the torpedoes, the angles for them, they suck. You have literally just, it's an incredibly small section where you have to be broadside to whatever you're firing your torpedoes at in order to get them off. You know, yes, they do travel for 12 kilometers. Yes, you can stealth fire them, but I could never get it to work. And the other option for that is, of course, you know, just stop using the torpedoes and try to use the guns. The guns are so anemic with their HE and even the AP. The AP is terrible on this thing. I was fighting up broadside, I think, with the Ulsta, pumping AP into his side, and I couldn't get past his torpedo protection. I'm not kidding. I was aiming right at his citadel, and I just kept shattering and getting very light damage from his torpedo protection with AP from relatively close range. I think it was 6, 7, maybe 5 kilometers away. I couldn't get a citadel out of him. On top of that, the HE without IFHE, yes, you can get it up to a 14% chance of fire, but you're at just RNGesus's mercy at that point, which I did try playing a couple of games in it without IFHE and with a concealment build, and it just didn't work for me. And the torpedoes, they weren't even opportunistic torpedoes because of the angles of them. You have to be perfectly broadside to wherever you're firing them at, so it's not like you can drop a couple early on and you know, hope that they hit, or you know, if it's an oh shit situation, because you have such a small firing arc. And even when fighting destroyers or, well, anything, they know when you're dumping torpedoes because you have to show them your broadside, which is why I kind of just forgot about them altogether, because I just couldn't get the things to work. On top of that, now that wouldn't be all that terrible, the terrible guns and the terrible torpedo angles, because with light cruisers, most of their damage, about 90% of it, is from damage over time. The thing is, you can't survive long enough. At least I couldn't. And from what I've read online, 'cause I was like looking up how to play this thing, builds people were recommending. And from what I've seen so far is everyone is just struggling so hard to stay alive in this thing. It has terrible armor. It's got worse armor than the Emerald, and the Emerald gets a heal. This thing doesn't get a heal. It's got worse armor than the Exeter, and the Exeter gets a heal. This thing doesn't get a heal. There's no real gimmick to this thing besides the stealth firing of torpedoes. And I know I've talked about gimmicks before and how you shouldn't have to rely upon a gimmick for your ship to perform, but I mean, this ship really could have used it. I think maybe giving it a hill. I mean, not a major dry dock hill like the British, but heck, just something to help it survive for a bit long, because there's several games where I was cut short, and I was doing okay, you know, for the time that it was in game. I may have had, you know, 20,000 damage done, 30,000 damage done, 15,000 damage done, and I just got clipped by a battleship shell, and it hits the stern of my ship, but it takes off 90% of my health, and then I'm handicapped for the rest of the game because I have no way to recover that health. And again, this ship can dance. It has a very fast rudder shift time, like you saw at the start of the video. But still, doing that and dancing my little heart out, first off, the guns can't keep up. And yes, that can be fixed with MLG turrets. And that's another thing. Another thing too is that you need a really high point commander to compensate for all of this ship's flaws. You need IFHE, you're going to need MLG turrets, definitely going to need Adrenaline Rush, you're going to need Last Stand, because the engine, rudder, and they get knocked out so freaking much in this ship. You're going to need all that. So you're going to need a high point commander and a tier 5 Japanese light cruiser, which this commander probably won't work that well with any of the other Japanese cruisers, so it would be just for this ship. And that's a pretty heavy investment. Which, I mean, if the ship was good, go for it. But this ship, I don't think it's worth it to spend that much time grinding a captain just for this one ship. Because, I mean, again, grinding a captain just for a certain ship, perfectly fine if the ship's worth it. The ship isn't worth it. So I've talked about talked about the armor, talked about the guns, talked about the torpedoes, the AA. This thing gets molested by carriers. I was getting, I think it was a Furious. He was like ripping like 6,000 damage salvos off of me with his rocket planes, and there wasn't jack I can do about it. Now, the fighter plane on the Yahagi does actually cool down pretty quickly, which I am thankful for that. So, you do have that to go for you, but still, it didn't do that much to take the edge off of the attack, which is what I really needed it to do. And, I mean, good lord, this ship is useless if there's a carrier involved, because he's going to go for you, and your AA sucks. And the fighter plane, yeah, it'll take down a couple of his planes, but at the end of the day, he's going to get through to you, and you'll be dead before you can do anything. But the ship is fast, it is maneuverable, and I tried using that to its advantage, but again, just getting clipped by a battleship shell here or there, you're done. There's no recovery. You cannot afford to mess up in this ship. Now, I'm sure there's some really good players out there, and by the way, for those of you that don't know, I'm an average cruiser player. I have several cruiser lines at tier 10 already, so this isn't like my destroyer videos where I have very limited experience in them. I've played cruisers a lot. I played them in clan battles, so I played them competitively. So I have again, I'm not saying I'm some pro, I'm just saying I'm an average cruiser player. I know what I'm doing most of the time in cruisers. But this ship, just trying to get it to work tonight, I just couldn't. I couldn't live long enough to do anything. That's what it comes down to. I really couldn't. And yes, I know I do normally play aggressively in any ship that I play, but I really reeled it in. I try to play it safe. I tried to kite. I tried to stay in the back and just do damage over time with my guns. But at the end of the day, the ship can't live long enough to do anything. And that's the biggest issue. And for a ship that you have to pay real world money for, this ship is not worth it. And I don't normally give out those verdicts in the first impression videos, but for sure right now, this ship does not feel worth it. What would make it feel worth it is if they could do a couple of things, and I'm just saying just doing either one of these things would make the ship much more appealing. And the first one is increasing the rate of fire on the main battery guns, 9 seconds on a light cruiser, even at tier 5. Come on, really? Omaha has a 7-second reload, and it has the same amount of guns, the same caliber of guns, except its HE and AP is actually good. And of course, it could fix the AP to where it could actually bite at range. Do something about those torpedo arcs, because, I mean, it is the way the ship is designed, so maybe, I mean, there really isn't that much they can do about that, but maybe they can be like, hey, this is the planned update, where, they kind of got rid of that superstructure around the torpedoes, which gave them a bit better arc. That would certainly be helpful. Improve the armor some way, just to make this thing a little bit more survivable, or just, and this is probably the simplest solution, is just give the thing a hill. That would fix a lot of the problems with not being able to survive, because the ship is good at running away. So you take a big hit, run away, repair as much of the damage as you can, and get back into the fight. And then, of course, buffing the AA a little bit. I mean, I get that the ship was designed in the 1920s, but it did serve in World War II. So, they should have an updated AA version somewhere. Wargaming you could just make it up. You guys have had no problems doing that in the past with ships. But, yeah, this ship isn't worth your money. It really isn't. Unless you're a collector, I don't see why you would get this ship. And I ran across one other and playing it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I have, I think, like 4 hours recorded of Yahagi footage, and most of it is me getting like barely halfway through the game and then getting deleted by a battleship, or I decide to fight another cruiser from medium to close range and I just get shredded. And that's another thing too, destroyers will mess you up so hard in this ship. I had that happen, and I get in the torpedoes, the angles are crap, they know you're dumping torpedoes because you have to turn and show so much of your ship to dump them. It's terrible. Don't get it. Not until they change something about it. I do not give them your money for this ship. That's my first opinion on it. That's probably going to stay my opinion on it unless they change it. But anyway, guys, if you like the video, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are on our way to 5,000 subscribers, and you guys have been doing an awesome job of getting us there pretty quickly. We're already at 4.15k subs, and I mean, that's amazing, an amazing amount of growth considering we just hit 4,000 not that long ago. Alright guys, hope you're having a wonderful Saturday, and I also hope to catch you guys in the next one. Don't buy the ship.